Chicago Bears! What happened? Packers win. First win of the 2024 NFL season. Feels great. Thought we would get here earlier last week, potentially, but we're here now. 1-1. Could be worse. Could be 0-2. But really, though, great win by the Packers today. To come out and have a game plan, a perfect game plan at that, already in play. I would say this is probably Matt LaFleur was in his bag today with some of the play calls he was calling, some good designs on the runs and everything. Probably one of the best game plans from a Packers team that I've seen in the past, well, at least from the Matt LaFleur era in the past couple years that I've seen. The only other one I could think of is when we played the 7-0 Cardinals a couple years back when we had no Adams, no Lazard, no Marquez Valdes-Scantling. With Juwan Winfrey, Randall Cobb, and Robert Tonyan were our receivers, and Robert Tonyan was probably the last game that he was good in, honestly. But anyways, very, very, very interesting going on with the NFC North today. With the Packers winning, Bears losing, Lions losing to the Buccaneers, Vikings win. I didn't think the Vikings would be 2-0. They beat the 49ers at that, too. I had some people telling me earlier this week that, the Bears are better. The Bears are going to be 2-0. The Packers are going to be 0-2. Yeah. All right. 1-1, both teams. Bears lose on Sunday Night Football. And the score doesn't really say for itself. Texans could have played a little bit better, too. But, man, the Bears could not do anything on offense. Couldn't run the ball. Couldn't pass the ball. And they really could not run the ball. On the other side, Packers, man, dude, today we rushed for tons and tons of yards. I think we had like 150 like at halftime, 200 yards by halftime. Josh Jacobs, Damian broke 100 yards in the first quarter and a half. Great game plan by Matt LaFleur, since Jordan Love was questionable the entire week up until Saturday, where he got downgraded to doubtful and will probably not play in this game, which I think we all knew that. But Malik Willis, I will say, hats off to Malik Willis for getting us a win, holding it down in our home opener. He played great. And I'm not talking about the 300, 400-yard games that you expect out of, the top-level quarterbacks. I'm not talking about having a great game in that sense with 3 passing touchdowns, a rushing touchdown, whatever. Malik Willis, he still played great. Great in the sense that he didn't do anything to lose us the game, and he did everything that he needed to do. We all knew coming into this game that we were going to run the shit out this ball, and that's exactly what the Packers did. Malik Willis was only 12 for 14, which 2 incomplete passes, 122 yards only. He had his first passing touchdown today, too, so congrats on his first NFL touchdown to Dontavian Wicks, the only passing touchdown of the game. Hey, Colts are probably bad, and we're going to talk a little bit more about both of them, but defense today too. Defense was great. In all, it wasn't the most exciting game, but it was a good game nonetheless from the Packers and co. Let's go into the offense first. They've been trying to play all week that Jordan Love was probable for this game, that there was a chance he could play, probably to keep that competitive advantage, to have the Colts prepare for either or quarterback, even though I think we all knew that Jordan Love was not playing this game. If Malik Willis can get a win next week, I'd be okay with Jordan Love sitting out another week, or maybe even a week after that until he's fully healthy. Packers absolutely dominated the time of possession in this game. Towards the end, it got a little scary, I guess you could say, or a little worrisome. Packers total time of possession, 40 minutes and 11 seconds. The Colts time of possession, 19 minutes and 49 seconds. Packers had 67 total plays, and the Colts had 53. The thing is, it was a lot worse than that at one point. I think it was 29-5, time of possession in the first, quarter, 2.5 quarters, 3 quarters. So Packers, they just ran the ball. For the most part, very good at football today. O-line looked good. Blocking was good. We didn't allow any sacks, but then again, we really didn't pass anyways. All the passes that we had were all screen passes, and that's fine. Honestly, we had a couple good screen passes. That's the type of thing that I expected them to do, because you want to get your quarterback into a rhythm and get his confidence up. So getting Malik Willis some completions, moving methodically down the field and running all over everybody, great. It's all good. Like, Malik Willis didn't do anything to lose us the game. He did exactly what we needed him to do. And like I said, hats off to him, man. Like, I wouldn't think that's an easy situation to go into, being a backup with little to no experience and being there for less than 2 months and getting thrown into that starter role in the home opener after a terrible loss prior week. And especially with everyone winning our division last week too, a win was big. We could have managed. Just because you start 0-2 doesn't mean that your season's over with, but it's just that momentum of starting off hot can go a long way. So congrats to Malik Willis. Thank you for getting us the win. Some other things on offense, man. Like I said, we didn't really have any passing yards. So Romeo Doubs, 3 for 62. That crazy catch in the fourth quarter where Malik Willis just gave him a chance and he went up there and made a play. One thing about Romeo Doubs that he's very good at is going over the top and just outpowering defenders. Like, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough, but Romeo Doubs, man, I'm sure I can find or put together a small compilation of him just, I don't want to say mossing people, but making plays after plays. Dontavian Wicks, 3 for 26, the 1 touchdown. Tucker Kraft had 2 for 16. Jaden Reed, only 2 catches for 9 yards. Luke Musgrave, 1 catch for 6. Marshawn Lloyd, 1 catch for 3. Now I'm looking at this. I didn't see Josh Jacobs get a single catch. That's actually insane. I think he had 1 screen pass that got called back on a holding. Josh Jacobs, 32 carries, 151 rushing yards. Malik Willis had 6 for 41. Jaden Reed, 2 for 37. Marshawn Lloyd got a couple, first carries, 6 for 15. Emmanuel Wilson, 5 for 9. And then Bo Melton got 2 carries for 8 yards. So all those numbers compared to Josh Jacobs, yeah, he's obviously like number 1, as he should be. And he played great. A little concerning, though, just like I said last week, I guess it probably wasn't talked about as much because we got the fumble back, but he fumbled again this week on the goal line at the 1 yard line. So he could have got a touchdown. I mean, if he didn't fumble, he probably would have got a touchdown or got a touchdown the next play. Fumbles in every game. I know it's only 2, but he's averaging fucking 18 fumbles a year, which is crazy. Granted, we got 1 back the first week, but man, just would like to see him hold on to the ball a little bit better, especially in a situation where we're on the goal line, where we're already in a tough spot not having our starting quarterback, so our offense is limited. Going forward, would like to see some better protection. Tucker Kraft, another thing about this offense too is Tucker Kraft is number 1 tight end. I don't know what happened with Luke Musgrave. I mean, it's not a shot. I don't think Luke Musgrave played bad or anything the time he's been back. Whatever. I think Luke Musgrave has been good too. We love Luke, but Tucker Kraft has been getting all these snaps. He's just, granted, obviously you didn't see any passing today, but from what I noticed, I don't got the official snaps right now. He definitely outsnapped Luke Musgrave. I saw Tucker Kraft on the field a lot. So he's apparently just tied at number 1 now. Another funny thing is that 3rd down play where Malik Willis didn't throw the ball because Josh Myers threw up on the football. Crazy. I've seen linemen throw up. It's hot outside, drinking tons of water. You still get, you're hot, you're moving around and your shoulder pads and everything in the heat. You're exhausted. It's early season. People aren't in true form yet. So I've seen linemen throw up, players throw up. I've never seen a center throw up though. On the ball at that. And for Malik Willis not to throw it, or that being his reasoning that he said he didn't throw it, hilarious. One thing to note too, Christian Watson, 0 catches for 0 yards, Repping the Watson jersey today. I didn't want to word Love because Love's out. I had to bring out the Watson jersey and he let me down. Again, not that it was much needed. Packers played great on defense for the most part. I wouldn't even say for the most part. They played great on defense. Xavier McKinney got another pick. So yeah, offense looked fine for the game plan that we had and everything. Next week we have the Titans at Tennessee. Hopefully we can go in there with pretty much the same game plan. We might have to start passing a little bit more now that people have an idea of what this offense is going to kind of look like without Jordan Love. So we might have to start throwing in some more intermediate passes in there, some maybe more down the field stuff, just in general. Just other than 1 or 2 shots, I don't think Malik Willis even passed the line of scrimmage, or past 10 yards, I should say. There were a lot of screens. So it worked this week. We got through it. But next week, I'm not saying the Titans are a great team, but we probably were going to have to start passing a little bit more. Defense, on the other hand, defense looked good. They held Anthony Richardson to 17 of 34 for 204 yards. A lot of that came to in the third and fourth quarter where he started to actually get some stuff going. But before that, before halftime, he was terrible. He had, I think, a pick or two before then. 204 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Jonathan Taylor, same thing. He wasn't doing too hot at first, just like last week with the Eagles too, coming back in the second half, just getting a groove going. Jonathan Taylor finished with 12 carries, 103 yards, averaging 8.6, no touchdowns. Richardson, 4 for 37. Trey Sermon, 2 for 0. And then receiving, Alex Pierce, 5 for 56. Jonathan Taylor, 2 for 32. He did have a drop. Alex Pierce did have that 1 touchdown too, by the way. But Jonathan Taylor, 2 for 32. And he had a few drops. Adonai Mitchell, 1 for 30. Mo Alley Cox, 1 for 22. Michael Pittman Jr., 3 for 21. So, and everything else is just 1 catch for, 13, 12, 9, 7, 2 yards. The Colts battled with the Texans last week. I know division rival and all that too. I think that one was at Indy. Yeah, and then I don't know if that's a test to how bad the Colts offense may be or a praise to how good our defense has. 3 turnovers this game. Again, Packers are making turnovers. I think that's 5 or 6 in the first 2 weeks, which is a lot different than what we're, used to seeing. So it's good, man. It's a good feeling to get the win with the Colts and the Titans. These first 2 games without Jordan Love, potentially the second game without Jordan Love, like probably the easiest our schedule will be, to be honest with you, because going ahead, it's not looking too good. A few, obviously, things changed, with my predictions and everything, what I thought we were going to go beforehand, because injuries and players breaking out and all that. But yeah, man, it's not going to get much easier from here. If we can survive, if we can get another win next week against the Titans, we'll be good. Honestly, if Jordan Love can come back against the Vikings, we probably would need him in that game too. Vikings, man. Vikings got a win today. Congrats to the Vikings on beating the 49ers. So another thing that people should take note of is that, yes, we got the win today. Yes, we have the same record as the Lions and Bears, but we are technically still in 4th place in the NFC North, with the Vikings being number 1. The reason for that being is, yes, again, same record and everything, but the reason why that we're in 4th place is because the Packers are 1-1, yes, along with the Bears and Lions, but the Packers are 0-1 against the NFC. The Bears are 0-0 against the NFC because they've played 2 AFC teams, being the Titans and Texans. Lions are 1-1 with them beating the Rams and then losing to the Bucs, so they're 1-1 in the NFC. And the Vikings are 2-0, beating the Giants and 49ers. So that's why the Vikings are Vikings are going to be at top anyways because they're 2-0. But that's why the standings fall the way they do. So coming into next week, again, we play the Titans. If we can get a win there, the Bears, they play the Colts. Wow. Okay, cool. And that one's at Indianapolis. So we'll see it. Dude, man, if the Colts beat them, that's going to be hilarious. Maybe could win that game just if their defense plays better than ours did, because their defense is good. If their defense, if their offense can even 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, because we got 1 touchdown, we beat the Colts. If the Bears offense can get 1 touchdown, which at this point is looking like that's kind of a hard thing to do, because Malik Willis has more passing touchdowns than Caleb Williams, just saying. But if the Bears can get a touchdown or 2 and put everything on their defense again, they can get a win. They can be 2-1. We can be 2-1. The Lions will be playing the Cardinals at Arizona. That one's interesting too. Cardinals, man. The Cardinals smoked the Rams, and the Lions barely got away with the Rams too. And I was thinking too, like, the week 1, the Cardinals played the Bills, and the Bills, were down in that game. Of course, the Bills came back and won. Cardinals got real conservative in that game. But then the Bills go out and play the Dolphins. By the way, shout out to Tua. I hope he's okay. He probably needs to retire and hang it up, because Tua, you got a family, man. And he's my fantasy quarterback. So I just, everything football aside, man, Tua, I hope you get better. Hope you make the right decision and do well. Anyways, and then the Bills come out in that game against the Dolphins and dominate them. So I was thinking too, like, man, the Cardinals, it's either the Bills just were really bad, started off really bad against the Cardinals, or the Cardinals are that good. And then them coming out today and smoking the Rams, dude, like Lions at Cardinals might be a sleeper like game of the week. And now the Vikings got the Texans. Texans being 2-0. This one's at Minnesota. So another good game. You know, at this point, if the Vikings win this game against the Texans, we really got to talk about the Vikings. Justin Jefferson did get hurt though. He's going to be day to day. Man, dude, that's just a surprise for the Vikings to be in the position they are. It is their place to lose though. They got to keep this up because the NFC North teams behind them aren't gonna slow down. Like everyone projected the Vikings to probably be, well, at least I did, projected the Vikings to be the worst team in the NFC North, and even then they probably weren't gonna be that bad. Yeah, man. So next week too, next week everyone could be 2-1 for all we know, or Vikings could be 3-0 and everyone else could be 1-3. So it's gonna be real interesting going forward. Hopefully we get Jordan Love back for week 4 against the Vikings. All in all, great win. It's been a pleasure to watch. It's been great to watch Packers football again. Good to have hope. Shout out to Braden Narveson, making 3 or 4 field goals. So that's still better than probably what Carlson would do. You missed it. Sure. We still won the game. It happens. He was perfect pretty much in everything else. So great win by the Packers. I'm happy to see we're 1-1. Next week we'll probably be 2-1. In the perfect world, the Packers will win next week versus Tennessee Titans, be 2-1. Bears will lose to the Colts next week. Lions will lose to the Cardinals next week. Vikings will lose to the Texans. And then we go in week 4, and then we beat the Vikings, and we take the number 1 spot in the NFC North and keep it that way the entire season. That's in a perfect world, and we know shit doesn't happen like that. So until next week, go Pack, go.